Hello and welcome to 2 Indoor Gaming. Today I'm going to be doing an episode on finding a new base, a new location. This house was only ever going to be a temporary location. It's too small and the trees here make spreading out a tedious process. So I'm going to look for a new home with a little bit of space to move. This was also a request from a viewer. So it's perfect timing to get to this level. All I've been doing is just refining a few things, making sure I've got a few items, and I just built all the basic wood recipes just so it would unlock the stone ones, because I prefer to do my house in stone. So by doing that it just means anything that needs to be unlocked by using those in stone will be available. So the first thing you do, if you're just looking for a new base, you don't really know what's around, you just choose one of the cardinal points, north, east, south or west, and head along it. So I'll go north. I did actually do a little bit of a scout because I didn't want this to be an endless video of me going, nah, this isn't good enough, this isn't good enough. So there's a little bit of journey. You can explore, this is good, you can learn the area. That's a nice trick. If you jump off a cliff into the water, it doesn't hurt. See anything interesting to collect along the way. Obviously this is still forest, there's still a lot of trees around. Swim through the water is pretty slow. I'll take that. Like I said, clearing trees is really a painful process. You can use some TNT to blow a bunch of it out. You can use fire with shredded leaves and a torch, but it's not an exact science, and my experiments with that sometimes burn the whole tree, sometimes just a chunk of it. It's still, a bit of hit and miss. If you do burn a tree, it will leave the flowers and the wax just hovering there in midair, so you've still got to do a little bit of harvesting. Yeah, so that's up to you. If you like the forest environment, just be prepared for that work. After all, I mean, once you get all of those leaves and wood, they certainly can be used for thatch ramps or combustion fuel for your forge furnace. I always get that mixed up. It means the same thing, doesn't it? Okay, so I'm utilizing my stamina here just to get a bit quick. So we're just trying to process the biomes. Oh, actually I saw some pine cones there. This will be fun. I'll show you. Let's see, make a space here. I've got carrying too much junk all the way. Give me some pine cones. Now where did they end up? There. Cool. So the pine this is your first available projectile weapon. I believe I discussed that previously. Next time I run across a pigsy, I'll give him a wallop on the nose. Here we go. Find a little imprecise, and you tend to throw from the left, so you got to be careful what's in the way. Missed him. Oh, that's got him. Now he's angry. They don't do a whole heap of damage, but sometimes if they're locked out of the way, you can give them a go. Where are we? I want to take that pig. See, he only took one more hit after that. There we go. I just wanted to show you that while I had to Good thing is, now I've disorientated myself because I was just going north. I can find that on my compass bar and keep traveling. Be careful when you're coming down those hills, because it's easy to jump too far and you'll damage yourself. Oh, some cascading rapids. So it's interesting that the water doesn't have like a universal level, so you will get those sort of rapids as one part of the river falls down, I guess, to another lower part of the river. It can create a nice effect. Alright, through here a little ways. I did find a good spot. So yeah, if you spot any veggies along the way, grab those because we're doing some farming. At this point, like I've said before, farming's pretty much for feeding your pets, and they can give you a buff for a while. I think the chiseled pie means you can float a bit, that sort of thing. Okay, we've got a bit of stuff there. That's handy, having these guys and seashells nearby. And the sand. I did make some glass. You may have noticed. Oh, there's some more turnips. Right. Yeah, this is a spot I was liking the look of. We've got a little bit of water there nearby. It's a very strange little sand dune here, which is interesting because it's not wrapped around water, but that gives you a few more mobs to harvest. And you see there in the distance, that's the canyon stone biome. That's going to be important later, so it's good to have that handy. And over there is the savanna, I'm pretty sure it's called. So that's some more things. So I like this spot because we've got a couple of extra biomes within reach. We're still close to the forest and we need to harvest those materials. And if we set up a link between here and my old home, we're going to have access to those biomes back there that we had. But the key is I've got a little bit of space here, a little bit of room to maneuver, and I can spread out, which is what you want to do. You want to be able to spread out. Okay, so we've got some dirt. I like nice flat construction. I guess I'm quite a linear side of guy. I tend to make square constructions. Very boring, very measured out, very sort of count the blocks, how square, how rectangle. But I think the key here is creating something. If you're looking for this to be your long-term home, create something sort of modular. Don't try and create your whole new mansion in one go, because you spend a lot of time gathering resources just simply for like putting down the basic blueprints, a floor. So I find you just start with a first room with the expectation that it's going to be like an entry room, or you're going to build around it in every direction. So it could be the center room. The other factor you've got to consider is, are you going for purely functional, or do you actually want to create something decorational? Because this game does have tables and chairs that are really for decoration. It's decor, just to make it look more, I don't know, realistic, like it's a room and not just a square space with walls that mobs can't get into where you keep your stuff, which is your alternative. So if you're going for functional or decorational, obviously if you're going for decorational, then there's a little more thought required and a little more space, because you still actually want to be able to navigate in it. And then it's a case of choosing some materials. Don't worry too much if you don't have enough resources for fancy stuff. Depends on how much mining you've done, because you can always switch it out later, and quite easily. Things that you place, even chests or tables or whatever, if you take the block out from under it, it won't fall down. That was a factor, I think, in Minecraft with doors and things like that. But in this game, that's not an issue, so you can totally replace the floor without upsetting anything. So if you really decide later on, oh, I want to go for something super fancy, then you can change it. Just go with ugly stone and wood, or thatch, or whatever you've got a hold of in materials. If this is going to be your long-term base, then just focus more on creating the space that you want. It's a lot harder to make a bigger room from a smaller room, because then you have to move everything you've placed against the wall. It's much easier to change the walls and the floor and the roof than it is to change the dimensions of the space you've got. So these are the basic options I've got here. I have some premium ones that was just in the early access, or before it was free to play. It was a lot easier to buy some of these, so I was just having a look at what was available, some of those packs from the shop. They're nice for special touches. So Adobe has quite a good look to it, but you're going to have to get some of that canyon stone from that biome I was talking about, unless you're just going for the basic bricks that you cook. But what can be quite nice for a sort of a fancy feel is a bedrock wall. Now, just because it says wall doesn't mean you can't use it for a floor or a ceiling. It's just sort of how they've separated it out. But I might go with just the basics, just because that's what people are most likely to do, and it's unlocked some nice options here. You can have stone block, stone floor. That always looks nice. Grab a bit of that. You got your stone roof or your stone stairs, and these are quite nice. Now that I've got those bricks, that's good for changing up your roof. This is one I got from a recipe that I found off a mob in a previous playthrough. Same with that one. This one, I might just make this because it could be fun. Oh no, I've run out of space. Now, was I smart enough to bring any chests? Yes, I did. Actually, I made a couple of these so I could show you the difference in dimensions of things. So what we might do is put down a stone floor, like I said, super basic, and just work how big it is. Oh, now I can't even harvest anything. Okay, what to dump? Now, if you just want to dump something temporarily... Oh, that's a bad stack. Okay, now I've got space. If you just want to dump something temporarily rather than destroy it, remember you can put it in this little sack instead. It drops a purple sack, so it doesn't get confused with the mobs. That will fade out after a while, but it does take a little while. This is a good multiplayer because you can swap them over. But actually, I might build mine on the top, so then I don't even have to worry about digging it out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I think that's quite a good size for a first room. So I like a bit of squareness. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oops. 6, 7, 8. Right. And it's just the basics of physics now. By doing it with an odd number, it means that I can center my door. If it's an even number, then I can't center my door unless I make a double door, which you can do, but there's an issue with it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And I can show you that in a moment. Keep doing that. One thing I'd like to see added is if they made it so you could hold the button down and lay the bricks. I know there can be troubles with that, but I always prefer doing that for a quick build. So on stone block wall, give me some more flooring. Yeah, that'll do. Okay, I'm getting close to night. That can be an issue. Because my bed's somewhere else. But I'll show you. There's 3 methods really. Now that I've got a new base. 3, 4. Well, there's several options to making sure. One, I can find this place again. Though by just heading north and due north, it's quite simple because my X is still located with my touchstone. So I've given myself that room. Now I've run out of stone, haven't I? No, melted wax. Okay. Should have made more. Right. Well, this seems as good a time as any. So basically you're setting this out. I should put a couple of torches on it, just for visibility. sake. So, to find this again, let's say that you got wandered off course, you didn't follow the cardinal direction, you were just doing something else, went, oh, this is a great place to be, I'm going to come back here. Then you can craft a beacon. All you need for that, see, stone, rod, glass, and coal. You can even do multiple colours if you chop up some of your flowers for pigment in the processor. But I'll just do white. So that's there in my quick bar. All I have to do is place that. And there we go. We've got a nice bright light in the sky to help me find this location again. So beacons are really good. Probably not for permanent structures like this. They're probably better for if you find an interesting biome, or you know you're going to have to come back to it later, like snow or something like that. Then you can put that up and you'll be able to find it later when you need whatever that place has. So there's that. Another method is to construct teleporters. That takes a few more materials, obviously, but I'm at the stage where I have those materials, so I will make some. And I would recommend eventually creating like a teleporter space where you can have a whole range of teleporters, but that's my first one, so I'm not going to be too fussed. So I put in the teleporter. What you've got to do, you place it wherever. They say don't let pigsies through. I don't know why, I haven't tested that yet, so you might want to wall it off so it's harder to get at. And it asks for codes. Now if you're in a multiplayer world, you're going to have to work out something that's a little tricky. If you're just playing single player like me, then what I find is I want the portals to represent something of the space where I'm going. So this is going to be my build home level. So I'm just going to put in 3 of these stacked stone walls. That's the code. So if I want to come to this teleporter from another teleporter, I have to add that into this bit here. But I don't have any more, so I'm not going to put anything down there. So now I have a portal, or a teleporter, to this. Okay, if also another way to remember the location, this requires very old school, a pencil and a piece of paper. Hope you know what that is. It's very old school. Just press your slash key, then press it again, so you've got the 2 slashes there, press enter, and you've got your old style coordinates. It's giving me my latitude, longitude, and height, depth, whatever that one's called. So you would just, that fades off, so just press that again to bring it up. You'd write that down and then try and find it by using your old geolocation techniques. I'm not a fan of that. I don't like having to use pieces of paper. I'm playing a computer game. So yes. So now I've done that, I've got a beacon, I've got a teleporter, I've even got the coordinates. I am not going to lose this place. So what the thing I do not want to do is place my touchstone here yet. Okay, that's what I don't want to do. So avoid that temptation to go, oh, this is my new home, I'm going to whack my touchstone here to recognize that. Because what that happens then is I've lost my home, the first house I built, and I don't actually want to lose it. And this is why I recommend the teleporter. I think that's in a useful location. It's got biomes nearby. I do actually want to be able to visit it again if I need to. So what I'll do is I will teleport home, or the old house. Maybe I can call it my cabin in the woods. Yeah, I'll teleport back to the cabin. Like so. So actually I did mention it was probably obvious, but when you do the teleporter, you've got to have something in your inventory to set the code. You actually do have to have the blocks. It's not random. Oh, here we go. I've lost my cursor. If that happens to you, just press escape and then back again. I don't know why it does that every now and again. Okay, so this is my house. I want to be able to return here. I want to get this stuff. I want to be able to remember the biome nearby that I'm going to need for pixie fur and things for my next level of stuff. I want to keep that available. So, good thing about the space as well is that it's closable. Ugh. When you're paying attention. Oh, go away, you. Right, give me that stuff. Oh, before I do anything else, let's melt some. Where's the wax? Thought I had more. Nope. Oh, okay, I'm gonna need more wax if I'm gonna do more stuff. Anyway, that's not what I'm showing you right now. Okay, so we've come back here. We want to keep this cabin active. So what we might do is I'll pick up the processor and place the other teleporter here. So this is here in the forest. So what I would do is set it to something forest like. Ashenwood leaves. It's probably a little dangerous because I could forget which type of leaves they are, so I'll just use vines. So put in vines. I want it to teleport to. I just did that by right clicking on it, by the way. You can always drag if that's your thing. I want it to teleport back to my build. So that's all I do. We've got a nice green arrow saying it's got a connection. And that's happy now. We now have a link between this teleporter and the other teleporter. What I do is just sleep that night away. And as you notice, I'm only down to 2 vines. And I would need at least one more to put in that portal code. So I see some hanging over there in the distance. Let's grab some of those. Keep my eye out for feral pigsies. Ah. Always handy to have a few. You can climb those vines too, but I think it's a bit easy to fall off. Oh, here's here. Ooh, wildwood. I can make bungalow stuff. Bungalow wood is necessary if you're going to make the treehouse blueprint, so keep that in mind. This is where you find it, if that's your thing. I'll have a bit more. It looks pretty funky actually. Okay. So we've got some vines. That means I'll now be able to put that teleporter code in. And I might grab some beeswax. Need a bit of that. Right here. Okay. Oh. Great. It's still operating on a full. Goodbye. Yeah. Try not to do this. Run around with your inventory full. It gets very painful very fast. Need to move out a bit. Alright. Okay. That's enough to be getting on with for now. Leave that behind. Oh, where's my base? Here it is. Alright. So we've got the vines. Now, if I close the door, it protects this teleporter from pigsies, because apparently that's bad. We head through here. Wait till it reloads. And we're back home. The new home. So now I can feel free to place my touchstone. Whack it anywhere. I'm not in multiplayer, so I don't have to protect my build. That might be something you have to take a little more care with. That's the way it goes. Right. So I might put down some chests. Once again, I'll just put it over here till I'm ready to design. This gives me a little more space for things. Don't need to carry that. Don't need to carry that. Nope. 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 So yeah, this is just a dump for the moment. You see this got 24 in the architect chest, which is good size. 24 in the grand. So same size, but one just looks, I don't know, prettier. It's grand. Alright, and then it would be a case of, now my X is reset to close by. It's putting in that code. We want vines. Bing. So there we go. Nice. So that's saying there's one teleporter has incoming to here, and we now have a connection, one outgoing. So it would be a case now of just going back, picking up your stuff that you want to relocate. You don't have to move all of it if you don't want, and then coming back again. We do the wait. As you can see, that's a lot easier than running backwards and forwards and grabbing all your stuff and having to do that, heading backwards and forwards all the time. So now I can move my bed so I can sleep where I am, check for other stuff I might want to take out of here, move the furnace, definitely want that. So here we go, so we've got 20 space in a stone chest, sorry I was going to show that, and 16 in a wood chest. If you just use wood chests, they're obviously the cheapest to put together, but oh, it takes so long. It takes up so much room very quickly. You'll end up wanting architect chests everywhere. Remember, they're built with the arcane stones. Okay, so that's the basics. I'll do a little work on that house to give you an idea how that works. Oh, yeah, in the next episode I'll show you that. Also, we'll look at rotation, how to change the block's direction so they do what you want, that sort of thing. Okay, thanks for watching. Catch you next episode.